Hello, everyone, and welcome to Jemma's Window. It is May 2020. If you are looking for your power year number and how to calculate it, if you just check out the information box below or hop onto my website at gemmaswindow@gmail.com, the calculations will be there for you. It's easier for you to look at them than for me to try to describe it to you right now. This reading is for power year number ones. Okay, and if you are a power year number one, you only have to calculate that once for 2020. Your monthly numbers change, and that's where I come in. So if you are a power year number one, it means that you're in the month of 6. And that is for May 2020. Let's review those numbers ones, and then let's take a look for those of you who have a job or looking for a job. Then we'll take a look at those of you in a relationship or looking for a relationship. And then we'll take a look at what's the best outcome we can expect for any question that you have. Now, I move fast and I talk fast because I don't want to keep you. So here we go. Let's review those numbers ones. If you are a power year number one, just as you're suspecting, it's a new beginning. It's the first year of your up to 10-year cycle. So you may be already starting that new career or new job, or it may be a year where you start to get a feeling that, you know what, I don't think I want to do this anymore. I want to do something else. It may be the beginning of a new relationship for you. It may be the beginning of a time where you're single. One thing that one does represent is that it's a year that you may have to stand apart with your opinion from others. You may not be the popular vote in various issues and circumstances throughout the year, or one big circumstance throughout the year. And it may appear to be unpleasant for you at times to stand up for what you believe in, but that is another thing that one can mean. But it's that originality, it's that pioneering spirit, it's that leadership quality that is meant to come out during this year. And I don't know if did I say this word, originality? You might have a very original thought or a very original idea that comes to you that you want to put out there. And you may not receive a lot of applause and kudos for it right away. But it's a year for you to stick to it and give it a try and take it as far as you can to see how it goes. I'm shuffling the cards now, ones. Oh, I have to tell you about your month of 6 because it just so happens, ones, that 6 is the most romantic month for you out of the year. Now, it can also mean breakup, sure, because it can be something to do with relationships. You might meet someone else, or you might feel that someone isn't just right for you. But for the most part, it can be about deciding that this is the right person, that things have to change. We do have to be more committed. Now, I'm shuffling the cards and I have the intention of business, but the Justice card fell out while I was shuffling, and I'm talking about relationships. So I think that there may be legal things. I feel that this is telling us that there may be legal issues that come up within relationships, and that can be very good. You might dash to the Justice of the Peace. You might run and do a traditional wedding. You might get a separation, yes, but really for the most part, it's a good revelation that you make, ones, in this month for what's best for you when it comes to relationship. Okay. Another thing about the month of 6, ones, is that it's about responsibility. 6 it's a battle of responsibility. It's how much do I give and how much do I receive from others. And I'll be reminding you of these themes as we pull out a cards, because that's how we're going to read them. We're going to read them with numerology in mind. We're going to use my clairvoyance, and we're going to use the meanings of the cards, okay? So here we go. For our ones who already have employment, now these cards may reflect those of you who are unemployed, who are looking for a new job, who have a job but are applying elsewhere. All the way across the board, the words may apply to different people to different ones in regards to work. But I'm going to try to target, to be more specific. And right now we're going to look at ones who have a job, and then again we're going to look at ones looking for work. But I'm just saying that sometimes, I don't know, maybe the whole thing applies to you. Okay. Number ones, we are looking at the World card, which is the culmination of all events. And the feeling that I get here is that, because I'm looking at the cards surrounding you, and I see nitpicky upheaval, and that you have honest to God concerns about others, perhaps in the workplace, or perhaps it's your children, not so much your loved one, but your children or people who are depending on you outside of the workplace. You have honest to God concerns about people who are not your spouse. And you're trying to juggle that, and at the same time, you've got good doers and people who have your best interest at heart. And these are a different set of people. These can be fellow employees or friends. There just seems to be so many different groups of people who are affecting you, and it's like you put your foot down this month. You put your foot down. And again, we're going to take a look at that responsibility theme, because you may just feel like in this month of May that you are being pulled in so many different directions by so many people. Now, they may not be doing the pulling. You may be putting it out there. You may have offered, or there could be a combination of you offering and people expecting. And it's all these different groups of people that are driving you nuts. Now, actually, this kind of makes me think of, I have many clients, and many clients who are teachers. Well, actually, this kind of applies across the board. When you're working from home and you're trying to, say, teach over a computer, it's something new. I've got somebody who has 600 students because they teach a specialty class, and they're responsible for each one of these. They're going crazy. And then they have 2 kids at home that are trying to school by the computer, and they're a single parent. Now, can you imagine? And many of you can. Many of you are saying, yes, I can, because I have a similar situation. So that is something that applies. And I feel like in May, if we take that example, you come to a conclusion where this has all got to stop. And one of the things that comes to mind is that school may go back. School may come back in session in mid-May, something like that, where it all stops and you can get back to a better place when it comes to work and family. That's a lot off of, it's a lot off of some of your shoulders. Maybe some of you are preferring it for certain reasons. But this reading is for those of you who have had it, who have felt pulled in many directions, and I feel like that's coming to a conclusion in the month of May. You will at least have some answers as to where you're headed and where you're going. Now, it doesn't have to be this example I'm giving you, ones, but apply these words to your own situation, and there will be some kind of an answer that either comes to you or that you demand by putting your foot down and saying, well, I'm just not doing this anymore. Okay, ones, let's take a look for those of you who are looking for work in this month of May. And we're shuffling, yes indeed. And remember, all of these cards are for you ones across the board, and they're also for somebody who maybe has a job and is looking for another, or has put some feelers out and is waiting for a response. Just use the readings for what works for you, ones. So we're going to try to target and be specific for those of you looking for something new. And let's take a look at what we have. I do have here that you have reached out to someone. You have reached out to a particular place, or maybe you even have asked a spouse, I want to go part-time. Something along those lines. You definitely, and there's this waiting because the card is a 7. Ooh, I'm sorry about the dings. I'm not quite sure where they're coming from. But you are in this waiting period of waiting for some kind of an answer to something that you have put out there. And again, that makes sense because it's a sign of the times. But I also feel like this can be that you've asked someone for a personal favor somewhere. And even that is at a standstill. Let me get back to that though. I have my Ace of Pentacles card here. So for those of you who are looking for work, I feel like you've come up with maybe some ideas to do something different. And there are some conflicts ahead for you that you're going to have to face. You have the conflict of this standstill of time. Secondly, then you have other conflicts, and they could come up with people around you. There seems to be a big thrust for you ones in this month of May with interference from all kinds of sources and all kinds of people and situations just getting in your way to move forward with the things that you want. So I do have a great card for you as far as looking for something new, because I feel like you're trying to recreate yourself. You have good intentions. You're trying to recreate something to make it better for others as well as yourself. But there are a lot of conflicts in May going on, and we're at this kind of standstill to start with. Now, May is your month of 6, but June is your month of 7. That's also a month of working things out behind the scenes and waiting. But in the month of July is your month of 8, which is more about financial success and reward from job. So it looks to me, I am going to suggest as your reader today to push you towards these new ideas, or implementing these new things into your life, or implementing new ideas into a business's life, or an idea for something new. It may take you till July to get concrete answers and to see a real direction, or to get that proper job on its feet for you, to mold it, to find it, to get hired for it, to get started on it, with all of these delays. But it's kind of a sign of the times, ones, and you're not alone in that. And I'm going to leave it at that. I think we got a lot of information for you, and I hope it applies to most of you so that it helps you. Let's take a look now at relationship ones. And I don't know how to turn. Let me see if I can turn the sound off here. I can turn it down so maybe we don't hear the dings. So I'm going to shuffle these cards, and we're going to take a look at relationships for you ones. Now this is going to be fun to take a look at because it's May, the lusty month of May, as they say. And it's a very romantic time for you. And let's take a look. Let's start with ones who are in relationships. What can we expect? Okay, something's going to work out for you there. That's nice. Okay. Let's take a look. What I have is you coming from murky waters. There's if you're in a relationship, there may have been something bothering you or bothering your loved one, and you're in a flux about it, and you can't come to an agreement on it, and I see an agreement coming, and it's coming in your favor, and then you move forward in something. If you have, these are just examples, ones. If you have wanted to get married, you may move forward. If you have wanted to move in together, you may move forward. If you have wanted to relocate somewhere, you may move forward. If you have wanted to start a family, adopt, just convince your spouse that you want this promotion that's been offered to you, but it's going to take more of your time away, or you've wanted to cut back on work in some kind. You are the one who is benefiting from whatever decision is made between you and your loved one. You're going to be happy with the outcome of something you've been working on. So that's very nice to see. I also have the promotion card here, and I do feel that you may benefit somewhere else in your life, and you will be able to take advantage of that. It's just a good timing for you and your loved one that it's going to work out for you. It's also a victory or success card, so you may win something that you've wanted. You may win the house that you've wanted. Maybe they'll come down in price for you under the circumstances of what's going on out there. It has to be hard to sell a house at this time. Anyway, okay, my ones, let's take a look. For those of you looking for love in this most romantic month of May, let's take a look. Ooh, what's that about, ones? What's going on? Ones, I have here that I feel like you've been hiding something about yourself. Put it out there, ones, because you have great success coming to you. In fact, you may have 3 people who are interested in you. I know a lot of us are home, and even if you're not, but the people that are home may be really spending a lot of time talking online or getting to know people, and I don't know if you're really telling everybody everything there is to know about you. And I feel like if you go ahead and you do that, for example, if you have children or a child or a very heavy commitment somewhere elsewhere, maybe you're taking care of a parent, or maybe you still live at home, and you're kind of circling that and not telling the truth, I think you're going to be okay, and to go ahead and come out with that, because being yourself here is going to win you points. Let me also give another side to that, ones. Because I have the secretive card and I have you having success afterwards, I also want to suggest to you that there are certain things that you must eventually tell someone about yourself, but there are certain things that you don't have to bombard someone with, as in constantly talking about your ex. Save it. That is where I think the secretive card works on your behalf. You don't have to spill everything and constantly complain or constantly talk about them or constantly claim all the girlfriends you've had. And now that is something that is not necessary. It's not necessary. And that can be a turn off to someone else. And then if you can just keep some things to yourself, you don't need to give people full disclosure, because that's really not their business. It's not essential. That can win you these 3 admirers too. So knowing what to put out there, the factual things that people are going to find out anyway, that you're really not tall, but keeping to yourself things that are just showy, or just don't come across well or aren't necessary to get these up to 3 admirers, ones. You could have a lot of fun this month if you play your cards right and you use your common sense. Sounds good, ones. Okay, let's gather these cards back up. Now, this is a fun part of the reading, and this is where you ones get to ask any question that you want. And you can go ahead and ask again about business, job. You can ask about romance, or you can ask about something completely different. And I'm going to ask, what's the best that we can expect for the question that you have? The more specific you are, when my answer comes out and it's going to be general, it makes it easier for you to tweak my words and create an answer for your question. Just don't change the ending and the outcome of whatever the answer is that we get right now. So you have your question in mind, your very special, specific question, and let's take a look and see what we get. Okay. There's so much, why is there so much pressure on you ones? I have to figure out who I know is a 1, power year number 1. I just feel like there is so much conflict or something upsetting you with at least one situation that includes at least 3 people. I mean, there just seems to be so much coming in from outside sources that is throwing you for a loop. And what I feel like I have here is that you are coming to the end of this, and it's you who I'm suggesting puts your foot down, and this is that area where you may not be popular with all parties. But to free yourself from it is to prioritize who you are and your values and what you have to do. It's not just about what you want, that you want the red instead of the blue. It's about, I can't live with the blue, so I have to choose the red. And everybody else is just going to have to suck it up. And it's the only way to prioritize. Or if it's a person, it's got to be this person I prioritize with, guys, whether I really agree with them or not. It's what can I do? I have to choose something, and the only way to choose is to prioritize. And that is what you're going to do to free yourself. I do not see a situation here where somebody else is going to make this decision for you. If you're waiting and you say, and your question was, well, should I give it another, month or 2 or 3 or whatever at this position, because something's going to come through for me, or I'm waiting for that. And it looks to me like you make the decision of, I can't wait anymore because I don't know if it's coming through. And they've been stringing me along, or I'm going to have a meeting with HR and I'm going to say to them, I've got a fabulous offer someplace. I really like it here. I want to know what my chances are. And they say, we really like you, but we just don't know. And we're not going to know until December. Then you say, okay, I got to make my decision. I got to do what's right for me. I need more money. I've got to go with something else. It's that kind of a thing where you lower the boom and you move on or move forward with something. And actually, it's a really, really nice card that you move forward to. I feel a really nice sense of relief and that you feel satisfied and good about it. Okie doke ones, thank you so much for joining Jemma's Window. And if you would like to know anything more about me, or perhaps get in touch with me for a private reading, just hop on to my website at gemmaswindow@gmail.com. And that's where you can find me. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you. And stay safe, everybody, and stay healthy. And we've had beautiful weather, well, in New Jersey anyway. So I hope that you continue to have beautiful weather wherever you are and enjoy the spring, because it's all we got. Okay, one. See you next time. Bye for now.